It's time for your next favorite episode of the Integratedness Podcast with Jason and Jolene.
The nougat. It's so good.
How many toffee can you fit in your mouth?
Was that a challenge?
Before you say,
Toffee
it's...
The Integratedness Podcast with Jason and Jolene annual Drunken Christmas Special. Eshel.
Part 3. Partay 3?
Partay 3, featuring the return of Shiniqua Igotyourass.
Guess that sound.
That's booze, bitches. That's booze. Yeah, it is our... I can't believe this is the third one.
I know.
Like-
It's because we can't remember the other two.
Oh, right? Especially the first one.
Oh, it's Christmas Eve, folks.
It is,
Is
for those
everybody
listening.
tucked in?
And ready for the big day tomorrow?
What's your Christmas Eve tradition, Jay?
It's changed so much, but like I know now, like in the last few years, like once COVID hit, before that we used to have like in-laws over and all this kind of stuff, but once COVID hit and we were kind of forced just to have the three of us, we really started to like that. And we would get together, we'd make something to eat, we'd watch like a movie, like Griffin, back in like 2019, I showed him the first Die Hard.
Yeah.
And so every Christmas Eve, we watch a new Die Hard movie. We finished that run. We got to figure out something to watch tonight. Clock's ticking. But he liked that. So we'd do that and we'd watch it. And then we'd kind of get like, we'd do like open a gift each for
Yes.
Christmas Eve, right? We like to do that kind of thing, get everything ready for the next day. And then, Griffin would eventually go to sleep and Jess would kind of want to, usually she'd have to do some last minute gift wrapping.
Oh, okay.
And then I always go down and just kind of relax and just watch something myself.
You're a dick.
I am a total dick.
While she does the last minute gift
Because
wrapping.
no. We each wrap.
That was like a marriage killer in my
Right?
life.
No, but there was I wrap all the gifts for her.
Okay.
She wraps all the gifts for me.
Right.
And then we both wrap all of Griffin's stuff.
Oh, right. Okay.
So she's got to still usually wrap something
for you.
for me. So I can't sit there and wrap it because then it blows the whole surprise.
Remember, I am like a mother of 3 children.
Right.
You can imagine the plethora. So what used to happen to me was like, I would spend all like November, December, like at the TV time. It was like, okay, well, should I get this for this kid? Should I get this? Yeah. And then when it was in the 11th hour in the wrapping time, and I'm like, I need some help. Well, why did you get this? Why didn't you get this? I'm like, I fucking asked November 15th when I ordered this from Amazon.
Right?
Like,
And
now is not the time to
no
give feedback.
criticism now. It's too late.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
So
right.
anyways, you go downstairs.
Kind of just do my thing. And then once before Griffin realized the Santa Claus dilemma.
Yes. That he can't fit down the chimney, right?
Yeah, right. Can't fit down the chimney.
Okay.
Then Santa would show up.
Right.
And do the stockings and all that kind of stuff. And so now we still wait till he goes to sleep. And then Jess and I put out we put out Griffin's. And then when I'm not paying attention, she puts out mine. And then when I'm sure she's asleep, I go and find all her stuff.
I
and
love
put
that.
It out. Yeah.
Keep the surprise.
Then I
keep
pass
the
out.
magic.
You gotta keep it going. It's gotta, and even though now Griffin is aware of Santa Claus.
Yes.
Because he'll be like, so Dad, when Santa Claus comes, that's you. I want you, can he do that? You know what I mean? He'll bring that in. But it's still the magic is there.
Yes, absolutely. And you're like, I'm glad you see me as such a powerful figure, and I'll be sure to pass the message on, son.
Right. There was one year, because he was so into it, I made a point of going out. He's like, well, where does Santa park? And I'm like, well, he parks in the front yard, son. That's where it is.
You put tracks?
I put the sleigh tracks. I put even little bits of carrot that the reindeer had eaten in the snow and everything. And that was the year it was super snowy and minus 35.
Yeah.
But I still did that, at 1 o'clock in the morning, Christmas.
Yeah, so Marshall had a little experience at the end of November there, knowing that December 1st is typically when our lovely elves show up, and he was very worried about not being at my house that weekend, and he knew I would be out of town one of the days, and he was like, Mom, I'm just worried because I don't know if I believe, and then if I don't, that means you do it, and if you're out of town, does that mean they're not going to come?
Oh.
And I said, well, that is a bit of a dilemma. Let's detective this, Marsh. And I said, so here's the thing. If you believe, then that magic will take care of it. Mm-hmm. So you're good. And I said, if it is me, do I ever let you down? no, not usually. I said, then you're good.
Then you're good. Either way, you're good.
Either way, I bet they'll be here.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, exactly. That is such a good way to answer that question, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, either way, I think you'll be okay. And
Yeah.
he's like, I really want to be able to believe, but I don't know if I do. And I was like, well, here, let's just do a process of deduction over the and he started to do a little bit of this last year, and then there would be some really, and I said, I've had the same thoughts, and then all of a sudden something will happen that's unexplainable. And it makes me question everything again.
Exactly. And that's a magic that should never go away,
right?
No matter what your subject you're talking about. Not just Christmas, but in general.
It is.
Life.
It's true.
Yeah. It's so true.
Totally true.
Well, this was really serious all of a sudden. Compared to how things usually go.
Yeah. Well, and for Christmas Eve, it's very similar around my house. Like it's a little bit different depending on if I have my kids or not. I think that's such a shit reality of family situations nowadays, right? Like I never thought I'd really have to say that. But typically Christmas Eve is a appy night.
Yes.
It's like I'll do appies. I know some people who do like Chinese food or whatever.
Oh, we do that New Year's Eve. That's our New Year's Eve is Chinese food. Yeah.
So it's typically an appy night. I like to put on a big spread and just, kind of casual do that. Definitely do the presents.
Yep.
There's usually one present. So typically for my niece and nephew, my present for them back in Alberta would be one that they could open on Christmas Eve because they have all of theirs, and the other ones just open mine Christmas Eve. Usually when they were younger, I'd have pajamas and things like that in it. So usually for my kids, it'll be something like that, maybe a game or an activity that we can play that night.
Yeah, something fun.
And it's usually something like Christmas Eve focused, right? So that's pretty much it. There's really not a ton. One year we got invited to our neighbor's house, and it was so much fun because we don't really have the family with the cousins and all of that sort of stuff. So back when Chad and I were still together, we had been invited over there, and the girls were so young. I think they were 18 months old, and they all had adult kids and cousins. So they had a bunch of people over, and it was lovely to just be a part of an active Christmas like that. And then the teens, the older kids, were all so excited that my kids were there because they finally got to have a kid Christmas again.
Oh, yeah.
So that meant that Uncle Brad put on the old Santa suit that was tight because he hadn't worn it in 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So he put on the Santa suit and came upstairs, and it was hilarious. He had his mom sitting on his lap, which was grandma, right? It was so funny. And then all of the kids played with my kids and did the double wrapped present with the oven mitts, and you have to unwrap it, and there's different prizes in it and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to be a part of that because typically, like I said, my sister lives in Alberta, and we, really it's sort of my mom and Rick, but there's not a lot of extended family or older kids that we had around, right? So I'll never forget that Christmas Eve for that reason.
That's fantastic.
It was so much fun, and it was never something I could have actually had in my real life. So yeah, and I always laugh because that was one of the Christmases that I fully give my ex credit for because I got so drunk. I was puking when we got home.
I remember this story.
Because I took over this raspberry flavored vodka from Tate & Bay Spirits. They were natural raspberry flavored. And my neighbor didn't know that it was pure vodka. She thought it was a premix. So when she poured my drink for me, she just poured this massive mug of the vodka with ice. And I was like, no, that was not premix. That's straight up vodka.
Oh my God.
So it was funny. And I was already a few drinks in by then. And we were just having so much fun. So anyways, I was puking that night. And I was so Chad made sure Christmas happened. He went, and I had everything prepped, but he put it all out. And the next day was glorious. I was so hungover. I couldn't get off the couch to pick up the wrapping paper, tidy the mess. I couldn't do anything. All it took was for me to just observe my kids going buck wild on Christmas. And my girls were young, right? And of course, everyone's up at 5 o'clock. So I was so naturally relaxed. Normally, I would have been cleaning things up and reorganizing and moving their stuff around. I let Christmas organically happen because I didn't interfere. And it was actually amazing because I just didn't give a shit about the mess and the chaos. And everyone knows what I'm talking about there, guys, right? When you have 3 young kids, sometimes there's even more people and wrapping papers going everywhere, and you don't want to lose presents within the paper, and You're just always up in that
Well,
shit.
Yeah. You're very aware.
Or like, don't open that one because this one matches the other ones, and wait till your sister's done this.
This is part one, and this is 2. And everyone's got to open at the same time.
It has got to be choreographed, right?
Yeah.
I swear, the only thing I did was just sit there and take it all in, and then I was like, get your shit together for 11 o'clock because you got to stick your hand in that bird and stuff that fucking turkey. And that is like what I had to like gain my guts for, you know?
That's awesome.
Isn't that funny?
That's a good Christmas.
Well, I don't know. I will never do that to myself again.
No.
But it was, that was a really neat experience. So anyways, those are the things. Those are the Christmas Eve treadies.
We used to, when my Uncle Warren was more mobile, etc., we'd have gather at his place, him and Bev's place. We did this even when Jess was in the family. And we would play, it was called The Game.
Okay.
So everyone took part, and by then, like, my cousin's kids were all quite a bit younger and stuff like that. This is before Griffin. But the game was, you would each get a present, and you would wrap it in a way that would make it appealing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And you would then, once everyone had their gift, you could trade up. You could swap.
Okay,
you could try to coerce. And
I think they call this, like, white elephant.
Something like that.
Santa
Yeah.
exchange or something.
You know, but you never knew what was in it. Mm-hmm. But you try to make it the most cool-looking thing. And I remember one of the kids, I think it was like Brandon, really wanted this because it was huge. It was this big tube thing that was like made to look like a spaceship or something like that my Uncle Warren had made on purpose. And he opened it, and he tips it over, and all that comes out is this old rusty bolt.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he was quite upset. And it was Warren's like, the lesson there, Brandon, is not everything is what it seems to be.
Ooh.
And then he got him like an actual, gave him a present, but that was kind of the point, is like, don't be lured in by the wrapping and the packaging, because you can often be deceived by what is really there.
Damn it, let kids be kids, man.
But it was like just wild.
Wow.
And then we played the game for years after that, but it was funny watching the kids with presents after that, because like, I don't know, I might be happy with just this small little package right here.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Actually, I would have to kind of piggyback onto that, because one of the years, like most of our like family Christmases would always be the same. I can't quite remember if we went. I know at some point we would go out to my grandma's in Westwold and have like a larger family that was on my dad's side, like my dad's mom there. But anyways, so I don't remember really what each thing was essentially as a kid, but I know that the year my dad died was in October, so December, like Christmas, was the first holiday after Thanksgiving there when he had passed. So my godparents and family up in Prince George invited us up there, my mom and my sister and I, and we were like, you know what, because we had always had pretty standard years of like traditional baking and painted ornaments and all of this stuff. That's another thing that we do. And we were like, hey, let's just go. And it was completely different. And it was the one year we did something completely different. After that, we sank back into what we normally did, and it wasn't too painful. But I always tell people, like, that year of first, like, you don't have to create a new tradition anywhere. No, you just need to get through it. It doesn't matter what you do. So for us, we went, and their Christmas Eve, they do a giant, and they have a lot of aunts and cousins and stuff, right? So they all get together, and they had a giant present exchange as well. And prior to us going there, I had my staff Christmas party, and I used to work at Thrifty's. And one of my managers, Gay Ray, everybody knew Ray, we had a secret Santa exchange as well. And I got his gift was this like tribal mask with this giant penis nose. Fucking priceless. This mask was like amazing. So I used that as my gift for this family exchange. And it was priceless. I don't remember who got it, but this penis mask showed up at every Christmas exchange after that.
How could it not?
How could it not? And it went around, like, it was like 5 years later, 7 years later. And I remember my aunt being like, that mask is still going around. So-and-so got it this year. So-and-so. It's probably still going around their family. And that was like 23 years ago.
That's wild.
24, 25 years ago.
That's wild. The penis mask.
I'm gonna reach out to them and see who's got it now. But yeah, so funny.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So funny.
And those are the kind of things that make it memorable, right? Like those just funny gifts and stuff. I remember like the first Christmas that my dad died, because he died in September. And so that Christmas was like just a few months away.
Yeah.
So his sister, my Aunt Eleanor, invited us down for Christmas, and we went down and stayed with them. And in a way, like, that was the best Christmas since Dad died.
Yeah.
Until like Griffin was born for me. Because it was just, you were welcomed into a family. They got it. They didn't try to make you feel good, but they also didn't let you get down in the dumps.
Totally.
And my aunt had this tradition. Because they had like a shitload of antiques in the house, like a ton. Because her and then her husband, Uncle Doug, who like fought in the Second World War. Anyways, they had like a music box from the 1800s.
Wow.
Where the records were these big metal sheets that you would put down. And that's how you were woken up in the morning. She'd come and she'd put that down and she'd turn it on.
Cool.
Oh, I'll never forget that. And it was the most unique sounding thing ever.
That's so neat.
That was neat. And then you had like your champagne and orange juice and went down. Yeah. They just progressed from there. But that was like an amazing, to follow such a tragic event, that was an amazing Christmas. Same kind of thing, right?
Yeah, same thing. So memorable, right? Yeah, and so different. So different than what you would normally do. Exactly. And actually, that's the way our brain works, right? Our brain does not look at the things that are familiar. It looks at the things that are different, which is why we remember negative experiences more than positive ones.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's outside of the norm.
It totally, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so crazy. So yeah, that's Christmas Eve. So that's what people are rolling into. It's kind of an interesting way that like the holidays are set up because we have the weekend, then we have Monday off, and then it's like you got these 3 days of Christmas and then like a random Friday if you're going to work, and then the holidays. So really, I mean, if you wanted to maximize on these 2 weeks, you'd really only have to take a few days off, like 4 to 6, depending on what stats you get.
Yeah.
To get like 2 full weeks off, hey?
Yeah, I remember when I did work for other people, those were almost the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got lots of time off.
And I don't mind working on those one-offs. I don't mind at all.
Dead.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
dead at work, right?
Yep. And now being self-employed, I'm like, it's nice to have that little like, and for me, I don't like to be disconnected from work that long because a lot of my energy connection is involved in my work. So I actually start to feel dull sometimes if I take too much time off and don't nourish my own sort of meditative state and stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm also just very easily... Yeah, I don't like too much downtime.
Yeah.
Which I should because it's, it's good, but I like to do my job.
I think sometimes when you're like in a soul-inspired business, you are constantly getting inspiration.
Yeah.
So if you don't get a chance to dump that out, I get restless.
Yeah, or I lose whatever that was that I wanted to do, and it's gone, and it never comes back, and then I'm angry.
Totally.
Right? So,
fuck.
Very angry.
Right.
Holidays.
Okay. So, Jason, you have an idea. I feel like it's kind of a surprise to me because he just dropped it on me before we record, like last week or.
Yeah. And now, so the concept of this, if people remember back right around Christmas 2018, someone decided to get a hate on for the song Baby It's Cold Outside, and said that it was actually some guy date raping. I don't know if they went quite that far.
I feel like it was.
There's a debate about but that was the thing, right? That he's like, she wants to go home and he's not letting her and using the excuse that it's cold outside and all this stuff. But it's like, and so they started banning it off of radio stations.
That's right.
They went that far until someone finally said, no, this song was made in like 1930.
Back when it was totally fine to hold women hostage.
Right? And then and that was not the point of the song at all. And it's
fake news.
Fake news. And then that kind of just went away after a while. But almost every time of this year, someone mentions it. But then there's like, think of all the Christmas songs out there that could be perceived as actually being inappropriate in today's very sensitive, politically correct / woke culture.
Okay.
So I've compiled a list of those songs.
You have.
And briefly put in notes
Jason and his list, I love it.
As to why they could be conceived. And then I was hoping, Jolene, that you could kind of, as someone who's an actual trained, educated counselor, chime in on what you think.
As I top up my drink,
right?
Folks.
And I have another sip of the
I'm not going to
tequila.
overspill it to my pants this time. If anybody was watching the live, you would realize that I poured not realizing how fizzy it was going to get.
It is a carbonated beverage.
And I know it is, but it should not. Look at that.
I know, that's much better, though. That's a good pour.
It should not, yeah. I've let it rest.
But there's there's a whole art to pouring.
Yeah, well.
Right.
Done.
The solid thunk as it hits the steel counter.
There we go.
All right, so this is the list that I've kind of come up with here.
Okay.
I saw Mummy kissing Santa Claus, subjecting minors to softcore porn.
Ooh, or are we normalizing good, healthy love?
Ooh, right?
Good, healthy extramarital love? Polygamy?
With an old fat dude?
Well, I mean...
Unless Santa Claus is actually dad.
What if he is the definite... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a sugar daddy.
Could be a sugar daddy.
Hard to say.
Right? Okay,
so yes, that is exposing children. But it depends. What did the child say about mummy kissing? Did it shame mummy? Was dad aware? Was it consensual? Because we also want to demonstrate good, healthy love. That's one of the best things I love about Kevin and my relationship is my kids get to see me be loved and me love on someone else when they didn't really get to see that before. And I remember when my mom, Rick had come home once or something and given my mom a kiss. And then my one daughter was like, Grandma, why did Ricky do that? And she was like, do what? And she was like, kiss you. And she's like, well, because that's what he does when he gets home. That's how bizarre it was to her.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that you don't even know aware of that.
Because it was so foreign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say that, what do you want me to say about all this?
I'll just come at it from but no, you're doing that. You're like,
okay,
as a
this is my thought.
How does this, what do you get from it? If someone came and said that was song, and I think that was kind of the point, is it's people taking, and this happens a lot with this kind of stuff, is they take one little piece of something and they blow it out of proportion.
I'm going to blow this entire thing this whole out of the water.
Out of the fucking
I'm going to be
water,
entirely inappropriate. Because then I'm going to say, okay, well, A, Mom's a tramp. B, good on her for getting something because we don't know where Dad is.
Where is Dad?
Where is Dad? I mean, I don't know. Is Dad working or is he playing video games? Or maybe Dad's going and kissing Mrs. Claus somewhere, right?
Who could be?
Or playing with the elves. That would not be okay.
Far from okay, actually, when you think about it.
Right? So are we representing healthy PDA, healthy expression of love? Perhaps. That is what I am going to ding on.
Okay.
But actually, well, no. Okay, I can't because
it's a tough one.
I can't. If Santa is Dad, then yes, it's okay. If Santa is not Dad, that's not okay. But Santa's magic. And what happens on Christmas stays on Christmas.
This is true. Right?
I would actually have to argue with, you saw Santa Claus? I would deflect the whole thing. Actually, yes, this reminds me. I saw a really funny reel on the social media pages. And it was an old school video, movie, show, whatever. And the woman had walked in. Did I explain this in one of our episodes once? No, I must have explained it to a client at one point. And it was like titled, and he hits her with the gaslight 9,000 or something, right? And it's like this man and a woman in bed together. The lady who's like dressed like a nurse or something comes home and she walks in her bedroom door and she goes, oh my God, I can't believe you would do this, Ralph. And he was like, do what? And then they both jump out of bed and they're getting dressed. And she goes, I can't believe you would be with another woman. He's like, what woman? And he keeps getting dressed. And then she's like, the woman right there. Right where? And she's like, I really can't believe you would do this. Do what? And he just keeps going and going and going. And then he's like getting his suit on. And then she leaves the room. And then she's like, I can't believe it. I saw her. She was right there. And he's like, right where? Right what? And then she's like, the woman. And he's like, what woman? And like literally completely. So now the woman's like gone out of the house, probably down the street by now. He goes into the living room, sits in his comfortable chair, all the while she's going after him. And she's like, I just can't believe that you would do this. And he was like, do what? And then she's like, how can you just sit there doing nothing? And he's like, about what? About that woman. That was just where? Just where? And she's like, in the bedroom. He's like, what bedroom? It was fucking crazy.
Wow. Wow.
So that's what I would do to that kid. You saw Santa? What was he wearing? Did he have his presents? Did you see Rudolph? Where was the sled?
Was there a sled? Did he eat the cookies? How about the milk? Is it still around?
Oh my God.
That's good.
Isn't that crazy?
That is good though. Yeah, no, I like that. There you go. All right. That's good.
Okay.
That's good. The Christmas song.
Oh, what's that?
It's not a song I'm familiar with.
Okay.
As much so. But apparently there's like an open fire
on
display, which could promote pollution. Folks dressed up like Eskimos, which could be accused of cultural misappropriation.
Oh, are they dressed up as Eskimos or are they Eskimos?
That is the question, because I think that's vague within the context of it. But are you then culturally misappropriating the Eskimos to use them in your Christmas song?
We're going to have to change that to like instead of as.
Right.
Didn't we do something to the Canadian anthem?
We took out... we changed
something.
A couple things within it. Because I heard it at the hockey game the other week, and I'm like, that's different.
Too.
That's different. Like,
yeah. No, I noticed it.
All our
sons
was changed to all our, I think, sons and daughters command or something like that.
Something. All our kin's command. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah, but yeah, I would say it would be one of those kinds of things. Yes.
Right.
Okay. Right. That's an interesting.
Fair enough.
That's an interesting one.
Holly Jolly Christmas.
Okay.
The line is, kiss her once for me. Once again. Is that unwanted advances?
Oh, well.
Because someone's saying, like, not doing it.
If it's cold outside, baby.
Right? But it's someone saying to someone else, kiss her once. for me.
I wish I knew the context of these songs.
Well, that's the point of it, because people don't always know the context of these songs. See?
Read it again.
Kiss her. The lyric is "Kiss her once for me." Unwanted advances.
Unwanted. Well, unwanted says who? Because maybe she's been waiting for this. Maybe she's like, finally, somebody's paying attention to me. So this takes me even further into like, what if all of these songs were created in a time? You know, it's really interesting because, oh man, I'm going there, guys. Monogamy. There are some really bold perceptions of how monogamy is this forced restriction that's almost, I think, and I don't say like I think, but I believe that the argument for it is originated out of saying like religion or Christianity saying you can only have one partner and you must, you know.
Yeah.
But the natural state of human existence is such that multiple mates or pursuit of something and freedom of expression of all of that, we aren't innately biologically meant to be monogamous.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Because if you were to look in the animal kingdom, they are not monogamous. I mean, I think there are some mates that mate for life.
Like, well, I think, is it wolves who do?
No,
I don't
lions.
know.
I think just swans. Do swans pick a mate for life or something?
Something like that.
I don't know. Somebody does. If anybody knows, let us know.
Yeah,
it's not.
because I'm confused all. But I know there's a few in the animal kingdom that are.
Right?
But most are.
Yeah.
Crows, birds.
Oh.
Yeah, crows
Doves,
mate for
maybe?
life. Doves mate for life.
Crows do?
Crows do.
Wow, that's impressive. Oh, I have a new respect for them.
I do too.
So just I wonder if some of these songs, especially in this like mom kissing Santa,
well, in the era in which they came about,
oh,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bring,
the Puritan.
And if you bring the Freudian aspect to things of like, what is our fixation, right?
Yeah.
What if our fixation around that time was this like hidden desire to sneak outside of monogamy, and how would they do that? But other than playing a record at Christmas time, so the lady, you know, sitting on her couch with her glass of port is like, oh, that would be so lovely.
Right?
Just somebody sneaks into my house in the middle of the night and I'm going to kiss him under the mistletoe and, ooh, right? Listening to the Christmas song. Imagine, right? Because all of our current day marketing follows a psychology of like what we desire and what we want. Which is, you know, for a period of time, it was chasing the American dream. And then now it might be like freedom in a different way, or, you know, expression or self-acceptance or whatever that is, right? So back then, maybe it was excitement outside of the restrictions and constraints of things, and they hid it inside of Christmas songs and gifted it as imaginary figures.
I like that.
Big, fat, bearded men bearing gifts, sneaking in the middle of the night. Huh?
I guess if that's your thing.
I mean, you wouldn't know unless you got an unsolicited kiss from a stranger.
From a stranger, right?
Right?
At the request of someone else.
At the request of someone else. Right? Yeah. Who's your pimp daddy?
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. This is going great.
Right?
White Christmas. Well, it's racist.
Actually, so I'm just going to go back, and one thing that we're going to do is reference podcasts that can help you understand more on this topic.
Oh,
so
right.
I think for that one,
we
could go back and we could talk about Tango of the Genders and the difference between masculine and feminine approaches and polarity, and how sometimes there is a desire to be pursued in certain ways. You could look at the chemistry episode that we have recorded.
The love language episode.
And even the chemistry of like, what did she feel with him? Was it comfort? Was it a bit of a trauma bond? Was it the excitement? You might want to go back and listen to those episodes. What was the other one? Sorry.
Oh,
Number
the
2.
Cultural misappropriation of Eskimos.
Yes, yeah. So you might want to listen. What would be a good episode for that one, Jason?
We haven't touched too much on that kind of thing yet.
I feel like, well, that's something to add to the list there.
Yeah.
I feel like there was one where we talked about like kind of what's happening to the world. There was like a political type episode.
Oh,
do you remember that in the first season?
Vaguely.
Yeah,
it was a while ago, and I've had a couple tequilas already.
Yeah.
But I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
You should just listen to them all and tell us which one it is.
Yeah, in the comments, please.
And like and share and tag a friend.
Exactly.
Okay.
So White Christmas. Why does it have to be white?
White because white is almighty power.
With hoods and crosses and things, right?
Exactly. KKKK.
Right.
Okay.
Never mind that typically Christmas is covered in snow.
Oh, is that why they call it that?
A white Christmas. I'm
just
dreaming
kidding.
of a white Christmas. Right? But people still get bent at it, you know?
Yeah.
Why does it got to be white?
Isn't Bing Crosby black?
No.
No. That would be funny if he was.
It'd be even better.
Maybe it was just because his name was Cosby. Crosby?
Bing Crosby. Yeah, nothing to do with
Does
Cosby.
he play hockey?
No. That was
Not
Sidney
Bill
Crosby,
Cosby?
right? And Bill Cosby, well, that's a whole other conversation, Bill.
I like the pudding in the spoon in my pudding.
Was that Eddie Murphy?
No, that was him.
I know that was him, but then there's like when Eddie Murphy, Bill Cosby like dissed Eddie Murphy because of his profanity. So Eddie Murphy went to his other hero, Richard Pryor, and it's like, oh, you know, Bill doesn't like me because of the swearing and all that. And Richard Pryor's like, why don't you tell Bill to go have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very biased song. They could call it the Eurocentric Christmas.
But if you're trying to sing
Caucasian.
I'm
Christmas.
dreaming of a Caucasian Christmas. I don't think it'd go over so well. Whereas I'm dreaming, and this is the most I'm ever going to sing on this show, of a white Christmas, just rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah, I guess. But is that just because we expect everything to be white dominant around here? Like you're
maybe.
a white male
Singing a white
expecting
Christmas song.
everybody to just agree with this, right?
No.
Why don't we have a brown fucking Christmas like half of the brown Christmases we have?
Well, in Kamloops.
I'm dreaming of a brown Christmas.
That rolls off the tongue pretty good. Just like the ones I never used to know.
Right? We could remix
We
this.
could totally remix
But
this.
we're white, so would that be racist?
We'd be culturally
We
misappropriating.
would, just make
See,
sure
we're
we don't dress like
screwed no matter what.
Eskimos.
Eskimos or wear these white hooded
I'm
things.
wearing a hat right now. Does this make me inappropriate?
No.
So that brings me to the tradition of Black Pete. And I almost got into a lot of trouble around this because I had a Dutch friend that I used to work with, and she would talk about Christmas Eve traditions. And they have what's called Black Pete there, and you would leave your shoes at the door, and he would come in, and I think he would leave candy. There was something. But then this became one of those traditions. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I remember I really looked into this before because I was really excited about the tradition. I thought it was great. And I sent out an office email, and then somebody pointed out that this is inappropriate because it was a guy with his face painted black to be Black Pete. And I was like, I just knew someone who grew up like this and thought it was a cool, different tradition. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to be inappropriate. Like I legit didn't. But yeah, that is a perfect example of where some of those things go wrong. And even she was like, it's too bad because like as a kid, that's what we looked forward to was Black Pete.
Well, and you know,
Christmas Eve.
in the pre-show.
Or maybe it wasn't Christmas Eve. Maybe it was almost like an Advent, like before Christmas.
The way that, okay, remember in the pre-show I talked about that movie from the Holland
Yes.
Saint? Well, the bad saint.
And for those of you who weren't on the live, did you realize that Amsterdam is a province in Holland within the
Amsterdam's a city
Netherlands?
in the province of Holland.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, city within the province of Holland that is in the country of the Netherlands.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
We did not know that.
In that movie, Santa Claus's henchmen were Black Peters.
Okay. I like the Black Peters.
But that's who the henchmen were, and they would take the bad kids and put them in sacks and send them to Spain.
I want to be a bad kid.
Spain, of all places.
Take me as far as you want in your sack.
We always end up down this road.
How do you not? You just talked about Black Peters.
Well, you brought it up.
Yeah, kind of. I said Black Pete, not Black Peters. In sacks, kidnapping. Like, where do I sign up? Right? And this is going to be all over the BBC, and I'm not talking about the news station.
No.
That was amazing. I'm going to re-listen to this and laugh so hard at that part.
Yeah, that was really good.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
That's so good.
Santa Claus. Oh, I missed a few. Whatever.
We're through half a pack of toffee.
We are already.
That's so good.
Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Peeping Tom much? Stalker?
Right?
Is he?
Yeah, I don't know. It's all of this, like, Google knows a lot about me these days.
Right?
My phone knows a lot about me, because even I was just talking to my billet the other day. We were talking about something about, like, Aritzia and his girlfriend and a gift card, and then all of a sudden I picked up my phone and I was like, son of a bitch! I have a text message from Aritzia right now.
Really?
Yeah! And I think it was just total fluke, or I think maybe the text message came through. I must have telepathically picked up on the fact that this topic was there, and him and I started talking about it. I don't know. It was so weird that I ran downstairs and told him, I'm like, that's crazy. He's like, you're crazy. But that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe there's just a whole bunch of AI in the house that's looking at things. Maybe. I mean, honestly, let's be real. Like, I came back from the days that, like, when you had a crush on somebody, I had a couple friends out there that we were really good at, like, keeping an eye on people. And then when Facebook came out, I remember reaching out to my friend. We were like beyond those days. I was like, fuck, Facebook makes stalking so much easier.
Well, it does. It's because people will, like, don't they even call it, like, I stalked your pictures or something like that?
Yeah, Facebook stalked you. But now it's just like, you know, like, it's so funny because it's like, oh yeah, like, even my kid's teacher was like, yeah, I follow you. And I was like, you do? And then I was like, oh, yeah, you follow me.
Like,
cool.
Like what? And, like,
you
your
follow my page.
Right.
But even that,
the
like,
terminology.
and that's just how people talk now. They literally follow you.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
No offense intended to anyone out there who's being stalked right now.
Right.
We're not mocking your
right.
situation.
Yes, we got to keep our shit together. Okay.
Yeah.
We should put a in the intro be like
a disclaimer.
The ideas and views expressed on this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of. Oh, actually, yes, they do.
It does. It totally
they do.
does.
If you don't like it, don't listen.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, Santa's like, I mean, you got to think about it. It's one of those cautionary tales, right? Like, if you want to get good presents for Christmas, it's just basically using greed to control your children.
It's really crazy. And the other thing is, I remember when my niece was younger and, like, she was really anxious around the Easter Bunny or something. And then I was like, yeah, at what point is it fucking normal for parents to be like, yeah, no problem. This giant bunny is going to come into our house and deliver things tonight. Good night, sweetie. Like, the people that are supposed to look out for us.
Bunny.
Right?
I'd be, like, not able to fall asleep if it had been described to me
and
that
I was
way.
like, I remember looking at it being like, yeah, that's really fucked up. And now this man is watching us, and we see this play out in kids' behavior all the time. They're excited and anxious at the same time because it's like, yeah, what do you mean this man can watch us and see everything we're doing and hear all of our thoughts and call us out on all this bad behavior? Like, that creates so much anxiety in kids. That's why December is such a shit show.
It's a total shit show.
Yeah.
For some adults, it's a shit show.
Oh my God.
Right?
It's so funny. Yeah. But yeah, that is another little, like, piece of feeling unsafe for sure.
Big
right?
time.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it's weird because kids will look to their parents for safety, right? And the parents are like, oh yeah, good night. Yeah, we'll see you in the morning when he leaves. Meanwhile, every other night, it's like, did you lock the car? Are the doors locked? Are the lights turned off? Is everything down? Did you hear that sound?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we'll be right down the hall if you need us. Unless the big scary bunny's here.
Yeah, then everyone's just going to bed.
Yeah.
Everyone sleep through it.
And nobody move. Don't you dare get up and go downstairs too early.
Oh my God. I hope one day my kids are just like, Mom, like, you're so crazy. I don't know. I would like really to have a kid be like, are you kidding? You don't think I figured that shit out because of that right there? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the Gaslight 9000 right there. That's the guy.
Brilliant.
Like,
I love that.
What? What woman? What bed?
woman?
What?
What? Where?
Who? Where?
Who? Where?
What? Why would you say that?
Why would you say that?
What are you talking about?
I'm sitting in this chair. I didn't just do anything.
And then she just like went like deer in headlights and turned around and walked away. I was like, I felt so demoralized for that woman.
That was awful. But I feel like that goes on a lot.
Oh my God.
Everywhere.
There's a story of many lives. Yes, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got?
So we took care of that one. The most wonderful time of the year. You know, everyone telling you to be of good cheer, forced to hide any depression. Maybe you were like me and just fucking hated Christmas for a while and you had to listen to this song telling you to be of good cheer and happy.
Oh. Hate. Loathe.
Griffin actually watched that in school today, that version.
So good.
Yeah.
My favorite. Yeah. I think I am of the old school beliefs. Suck it up, buttercup. And fake it till you make it. Yep. And follow the masses. That sounds pretty on point for you and I on this podcast here.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep.
Just follow the masses. Don't ever indulge your feelings.
do tell people to fake it till they make it, though. Absolutely.
Well,
yeah. I'm like, you know what? What you're doing isn't working, so
you need to do something
else.
Let's
try something different.
Right?
Put on a nicer pair of pants, brush your hair.
What is that? Maybe if all these things don't work for you, and you're the common denominator in all these things.
It's me.
Maybe the
problem. I'm the problem. It's me.
Right?
At tea time. That right there. I was like, that's the most brilliant song in the world. You know how many times I throw that song out? Sometimes I will sing it during a session just like that. And the person's like, okay, touche.
Stop.
Touche. Right? And there's no better way to deliver that message, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could point out, like, oh, okay, so this has happened, okay. Or I could lightly lob a pass and be like, it's me.
Yeah.
I am the problem. And they're like, nicely called out.
That's very good.
It's lovely. It's great when we have good rapport. And they like Tay-Tay.
That's an important component of all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, like, when I was doing employment counseling, someone came in and started just unloading all their personal problems on me. And I'm like...
But that's why they didn't have employment.
Well, but I was like, I'm not here to actually be your therapist. Like, I just sort of said that to the person. What does any of this have to do with your job search?
Well, that's why they can't get a job.
Well, I know. But I'm not allowed to say that, though. But I'm I'm not a therapist. I'm just here to help you find work. I'm sorry.
I'll take the rapist for 2,000. Trebek. It's therapist, and you know that, Connery.
The other one, I'll take anal bum covers for 1,000, Trebek.
I'll take Jap-anus relations for 200. That's Japan-U.S. relations. And the answer is rough. Like your mother likes Trebek.
I used your mother as an anal bum cover last night.
My mother is in a nursing home in Alberta, Canada. Oh, she was nursing it all right.
They're so good.
I miss those days, guys.
Whoever that guy was that did Connery,
he was so funny.
Brilliant.
So good. Yeah.
A special treat for people. We haven't got there yet. But one of the titles of an upcoming episode that drops next month is an actual Sean Connery quote from The Rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like that.
Keep your eyes open for that one. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. What do you think people would have a problem with, Jolene, with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Had a very shiny nose. Because he is being othered for being different.
Yes, the bullying.
Yes, the bullying that he had to go through, only to find out that he had a special gift.
Showed all those assholes.
Yeah, right? That big, shiny, bulging thing on his face did not need a cream, did not need any kind of ointment.
So didn't even in like the remember the cartoon? It wasn't so much a cartoon, but he tried to put sock over it.
Oh yeah,
or something.
that's right. Yeah. Charcoal or something.
I always felt really bad for him in that one.
Oh, I know. Yeah, of course. You're supposed to feel bad.
I know
for him, right?
That's being manipulated. By
Absolutely.
The story. Yeah.
We do not other. We do not other around here. We embrace all flaws. That is why Jason and I are here.
Flawed beings that we are.
Yeah, I wonder what else is in there. I remember, because I actually just referenced that the other day with my son too, when he had this wild and crazy hair, and I was like, you remind me of the little boy from Rudolph.
Oh yeah,
remember? And he was the little dentist kid, but he wasn't very good.
He was an elf. He didn't.
No, he was a real.
Was he a kid? No, he was an elf.
He was an elf, but he wanted to be a dentist.
Yeah, not an elf.
Yes, that's right. So he did not fit into the mold.
That's kind of what the whole story is about. Is it's okay to not be a part of the mold. See, why don't people see that when they want to pick a problem with something? Look at the actual message behind some of these things.
That's right. So if we were to take that approach and back up the truck a bit.
So back up the truck.
Let's go back.
I saw Mummy kissing Santa Claus. subjecting minors to softcore.
Yes, I've got it.
Okay.
She is fucking unhappy.
Yes.
Dad is not meeting her emotional needs, so she doesn't have intimacy with him.
He's
so
not
she
even
doesn't,
home. He's not even home on Christmas Eve.
He didn't even notice the mistletoe.
He's probably at Moe's getting drunk.
Or he might not be. He could actually be there and just unavailable mentally and emotionally.
Or maybe he's dead.
Oh. No, maybe. What do you think?
It could be.
No, I'm going to call it out. This is an emotionally unfulfilled relationship.
Okay.
She's not getting her needs met, so she turns elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Santa could be no different than like Charlie down the street or the guy that works in the mailroom at work.
Might not have mattered who it was.
Says, hey, I noticed that your hair looked different, or hey, you look down today. Ding, ding, ding. Emotional needs are being met, seen, validated. I exist. That's what happened. That's the larger message. Partners, start noticing your partners, or your wife is going to kiss Santa.
Or like Santa
tomorrow,
Claus.
I'm
tonight.
Using
air quotes, because Santa Claus could be a metaphor for the person who comes and notices these things.
Right? The man who's sneaking into your house bearing gifts tonight for your partner.
Quote unquote, bearing gifts.
Hopefully it's Black Peter. Some husbands would be into that.
They might.
And they would be meeting the emotional needs of their partner. Hey, you know what? I just love seeing her happy. Right?
Yeah, right? These things happen.
Okay.
All right, what are you doing next?
What are we doing? That's the other thing we could do. We really could take it and just say it's a white Christmas. Like, yeah, guys, look around. It's a white Christmas, and it's fucking better white.
Then not white.
Kidding. But really, it is kind of what we're saying.
At Christmas, would you prefer to have snow or not snow?
I know.
I'd rather have snow.
I know, but when we use it in the race context, it's kind of like...
we're not supposed to put it into a racial context.
Yeah, make America better.
Mega. What's funny is those guys wear a red hat. Anyways. Into any of that. This is not a political show.
Okay.
Moving on.
Fake news.
Fake news. Santa baby.
Santa baby.
Is she a gold digger? Is she blackmailing her partner just to get what she wants?
Yeah, why do we even call it blackmailing? Why don't we call it fucking white mailing? Why don't we call it brown mailing? Why is it always black
Green
people?
Mailing. Why is it always picking on the black people?
Right? Yellow mailing. I'm just saying.
I know. Well, if we're gonna like call a spade or right.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, David Spade has nothing to do with this.
No.
Right? Actually,
where is
I remember.
David Spade
I don't know.
He was funny.
Yeah. I remember Ali G, and it was something about like this. They were talking about assisted suicide, and the man said something about euthanasia, and he says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! This has nothing to do with the youth in China." The euthanasia.
Oh God, that's Sacha Baron Cohen, man. He's brilliant.
So funny.
He is brilliant.
Okay, what was the topic again? Sorry.
No.
What was
the song Santa Baby? Like, is it like
Baby?
gold digging?
I think this is entirely about child laboring.
Oh.
Yeah, I think if Santa is a baby and he's expected to deliver all of these presents and drive when he is obviously unable to drive and run all of this and do physically like impossible tasks, this is all about inappropriate child labor. Somebody needs to stop it.
Can't argue with it. Cannot argue with that. All right.
Bum. You guys weren't expecting that, were you?
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
Frosty the Snowman. Mm-hmm. Is it sexist? Why can't Frosty be a snow woman?
Oh. Well.
For that matter, why do we always make snowmen?
Or snow them.
Or snow them.
Should be a snow them. Well,
Snow
because we live in a patriarch-dominated society, it doesn't help that Frosty's probably fucking white, too.
Well, he's made of snow, for crying out loud.
I mean, are we just...
And then if you go out like spray painted the white snow that made up Frosty black, you'd be accused of going blackface.
Maybe, or then being accused of not being green on the environment and polluting our world, and then promoting, honestly, like inappropriate cocaine use, because now we're just making whole characters out of white powder, calling it snowmen.
You know, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to write the episode synopsis for this one.
like, oh, what side of the fence do they sit on? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Damn idea.
I'm just saying, right? Frosty the Snowman was a jolly happy.
Well, so he would likely be high on cocaine.
With a corncob
Pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal.
Yeah, okay. Why would he have a butt on his nose, though?
It's a button.
Oh,
it's a button.
A butt on his nose?
Because you use a button.
How do you spell button?
Button.
Oh,
so it literally is butt on,
yeah,
but it's a button.
On.
Button.
Yeah, who's right here, guys? Is it me or Jason? Does he have a butt on his nose or does he have a button nose? What is it? I mean...
Let us know in the comment section for that one. All right. Moving right along.
See how quick I get? It's like all the synapses are connecting.
What is in that drink? Do you hear what I hear? Blatant disregard for the hearing impaired.
Or are we just being entirely stigmatizing to the population that hears things that we don't hear?
Oh, that's like one of those like gong.
Yeah,
moments, right?
is this about like mental health awareness and stigmatization of certain illnesses?
Yeah,
do you hear what I hear? Do you hear? Well, no.
Is anybody listening to me?
Yeah. Right? I don't know. I can't even make funnies on that one.
No, it's a tough one. Somebody got dark.
So anyways, get that fucking song off the radio, right. Son of a bitch. Garbage song.
It's a garbage bullshit song.
We don't hear it, and we're not going to treat you poorly if you do.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. The line, make your Yuletide gay. Wow. Just wow.
Okay, this is no different than when we do drag readings at the library. Okay,
What's a drag reading?
Oh, drag queens reading to kids.
This
is when they come into, oh yeah, we cannot have this, guys. If we are making Yuletides gay now, we have to stop this.
Just gonna let that one sit and
I
marinate
know.
for a
Isn't that
moment,
crazy?
Right? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know during Pride Week and stuff they have like I know that sometimes in town and stuff they've done that or they you know, whatever. But yeah, we can't make Yuletides gay. We can't. They have to choose to be that themselves. They can't be socially influenced into being gay. That's ridiculous. I said dick.
That group that was really opposed to like teaching anything about LGBTQ in schools, and they were worried that it would influence their kids. Do you remember that? They were going to do protests.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was just talking about.
Yeah,
right?
I just was like, holy shit.
The drag reading.
Like,
I know.
And then none of those people showed up at the school board meeting.
Right?
Like it shows how dedicated they were to their cause.
It's like when you talk about suicide, it doesn't make people want to suicide.
No.
When you talk about options for sexuality, gender, all of the things that we can start to identify with, understand ourselves with, it's not going to make somebody be something. It's going to help them understand what they are if they have more language for something, right?
Oh, totally.
Do you want a salad when you go to the restaurant? No, you want to order your fucking kind of salad.
Yeah.
Caesar salad, Cobb salad, Greek salad, macaroni salad.
Potato salad.
Right?
What's the fruit salad?
Yeah, you don't just want a fucking salad.
No.
That is kind of what having more definitions of things is sort of like.
Well, it totally is.
Right?
Or what was the Quentin Tarantino's argument? Because his movies are violent, right? So he's like, oh, your movies are like make things more violent. And he goes, well, if I made like comedies, would there then be more comedy in the streets?
Oh, right.
No.
So anyways, what my biggest thing is I love that word and the meaning of the initial meaning of the word gay sort of mean the same thing, because I'm going to be honest with you. The folks I know, many folks I know that are gay are the fucking happiest people I know.
I see very few miserable gay people.
Yeah, right? I love it. Yeah. So I actually love that word being reclaimed. That's funny.
Similar note. Buddy of mine who's Catholic, and I'm not Catholic, and I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, but he made a good point. Like, you know, like people like if they're religious or they're spiritual, they've got like hope. They're generally pretty.
Yeah. But
he's like, but have you ever seen a happy atheist? I'm like, not really. They're usually pretty miserable people because you don't believe in anything. Like,
that's funny. Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
It's like a little side note. But I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, we challenge you. Show us that if you're an atheist out there, show us that you're not miserable.
Proof to us.
Prove it.
Just a couple more here.
Okay.
Jingle Bell Rock.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
I'm
not burping as much this year.
That first year was amazing.
so
and we didn't know each other that well either.
Oh, that's right. And I was
bonded
letting
over
her.
that.
Yep.
The lines, giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Is that animal abuse or alluding to animal abuse?
No, that is what it's there for.
Okay.
That thing is supposed to serve mankind in whatever kind of delightful things it wants to do. Yeah. Fuck your couch.
Fuck your couch. Fuck your couch.
I love that got picked out of a song for this. That's so funny.
Isn't that crazy?
The things that people pick on. Isn't it wild?
That was the
I feel like
point
this
of
represents
list.
city council in Kamloops right now.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Oh my God, I saw something posted not that long ago and somebody was like, has anybody sent this script to Netflix? And I was like, whoa, that is so true. Oh my goodness. But yeah, these are the things. Like some people will just nitpick and nitpick. They will find every fucking reason to complain.
And that was kind of my point behind this whole exercise and see how we can pull that apart, right?
I love it.
All right, the last one.
Okay.
Winter, the song, Winter
Walking in a winter wonderland.
Parson Brown, he's the guy that wrote the song.
Is he brown or is he white?
I don't know.
We don't know, guys. Again, race.
Demanding that they get married in the song. Is that forced partnership?
No. Go back to Tango of the Genders. Go back to what women in this day and age are desiring. If this is written in pre-feminist kind of movement, then women were wanting more freedom back then. So it might have been forced. But now, you ask us now, and we're like, oh, we're dying for a man to take the lead like that.
Which isn't that kind of interesting how that's kind of come
funny?
about, right?
Yeah, because now we got all these passive men. Like, what is this? Has she proposed to him yet? And guys, do not get me wrong, okay? I get that relationships go two-way, but oh my goodness, there is a beautiful, beautiful advantage to having men being able to be exceptional in their area and women being able to be exceptional in theirs. Again, non-gender conforming, whatever.
Yeah.
There are some traditions that just need to follow suit for a natural polarity to occur.
I agree.
So you ask people now and they would be begging to be claimed like that instead of like, yeah, did you think that you might want to possibly get married sometime in the future if you felt like it or not?
It's like,
fuck.
The fuck did you just say? You know, like,
yeah.
Right? We're going to do an episode coming up next year about the subject of men and boys and the difference. Because you can have 15-year-old men and you can have 45-year-old boys. There's a difference.
Yes, you can.
We're going to talk about that masculine shit.
We are. So I would say that's what that is. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you can force that, and you can bring Black Peter, and you can have Santa there, and I'll hold the mistletoe, bitch.
And it can be white or black, whatever the fuck you want.
I don't care what kind of Christmas this is. It can be all sorts of colors.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, that was my little contribution to this year's Christmas party.
That was like, we got deep with that one because we were like, okay, we need to actually make this learning material. We need somebody to benefit from it and all of the things.
It was like, remember, we talked about Bill Cosby earlier and stuff, but I remember on the Cosby Show, he always would end the theme song by saying, and if you're not careful, you just might learn something before you're done. And that's what we did right here.
That's funny.
And then when you take the context of Bill Cosby.
I was just going to say, right? How ironic is that?
But I can take that and use it here as a positive.
Yes, you can. You can.
And that's what I did.
Sure. Yes. So where do you plan on, where did you wear this sweater? You don't have it lit up.
Because you know what happened?
Did it go through the wash and the battery?
No. My fob battery died.
Oh, no.
And this battery fit perfectly into my fob.
That's amazing. I probably have so many extra of those batteries too, and I was hoping they would have fit in my earrings. That's so funny. So what a great gift.
It just kept on giving.
when your key fob died, what possibly occurred to you to be like, I'm gonna go check my Christmas sweater?
my father-in-law was like,
what?
well, it takes because he was over, and I'm like, the thing died, and he's like,
how do I open my car?
Yeah,
Did you know there's a key inside your fob?
Well, there's a key. I knew that too.
Didn't know
I knew
that
too. No, there is. I knew that. But I'm like, how much would it cost to get the fob fixed? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was acting up too. If I walked like too close to the car, it would like lock and unlock.
Sounds like a math equation.
It
How
was
much
totally,
would it take for the fob to fix the fix?
And he's like, well, you just need this kind of battery. And I was just like, wait a minute. And it was literally like a week after we recorded the episode. And I'm like, I think I might have one of those.
That's
and I sort of
so
broke
funny.
open. I'm like, fuck yeah, this works.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You were happy to destroy and disassemble your Christmas
But
sweater.
I still have the sweater.
Oh, you do? It looks great.
Yeah,
and I have a feeling like that's gonna grow on you very well.
It's warm as fuck, though. I'm like dying in this thing.
Well, if you had a Rick and Morty t-shirt to cool off
I
in,
would do that, but I did
right?
not. No.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah.
So, what was on your Christmas list this year, Jason? And do you think that you were naughty or nice and able to get that gift?
Well, I only wanted one thing, Jolene.
Yes?
And I know I'm getting it. I know.
Happiness.
No.
A Lego set.
No.
Sex.
Maybe. There is an Indiana Jones video game
Whoa.
out.
Okay.
And it's only available on the Xbox.
Okay. Do you have an Xbox?
No. So I know I'm getting an
Shut
Xbox
up.
with the Indiana Jones video game for Christmas.
Amazing.
Yes.
Good
And I'm just like,
Jess.
if that's all I get for Christmas, I don't care.
That's
I just
amazing.
want that because that's my thing.
Jess, it's Christmas Eve. If you haven't gotten the Xbox and Indiana Jones, go fast. And if you don't, remember the year that Jason forgot that it was Valentine's Day and showed up late because he had to wait an hour in the Safeway lineup to get you flowers.
Which I did. Along with my boss at the time, Mel Rothenberger.
Yes, I remember.
Right?
I remember the story. So you can keep that in your back pocket.
I got it. Right
Okay.
here. All right, how about you? How about you? Oh, was I good this year? Yeah, I'm rarely evil, so
Yeah.
I think I was good.
Yeah, I would have to say.
Yeah,
probably. You
think
showed
so.
up well. You did the things you were supposed to do.
Behaved like an adult.
Most of the time.
Most of the time?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I saw you running like a month ago in the neighborhood and I was like, what has happened? Like who's chasing him? And I was like, fuck, he's exercising. Like
Right?
running, exercising.
And how about you?
Pay it forward.
What did you want? What do you hope you are getting for
well-
Christmas this year that you open up later today? And then do you believe you were a good, I hate the phrase, good girl or a bad girl?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Oh, there you go.
Nothing wrong with a bad girl.
No, there's not actually.
Either way, I win. So it's interesting. Yeah, this is a tricky one because it doesn't really matter what's on my list. I have somebody very generous in my life for like the first time ever, right?
And this is your second Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had Christmas together last year. So Kevin randomly, I think, messaged me maybe in September, October. I don't remember when it was. Just sorting out scheduling details and those kinds of things about hockey tournaments and whatever. And then he said, okay, great. We're going to Vegas December 13th.
Oh, and you can't tell us what happened because we recorded this before the trip.
Yeah. So I was like, can we please just make that our Christmas present? Because that just feels so extravagant.
That is extravagant.
Right? Like for me, time with him is one of my best gifts. I don't fucking care where it is. But the fact that it's on a trip like that, we're going to we went, by the time you listen to this, to a Thomas Rhett concert there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was mostly inspired. It was actually shortly after I missed the Jordan Davis concert in Kelowna. He knew how like shitty that felt and was like, where can I find a concert for her? And he wants to be able to get away and spend more time in experiences rather than things, right?
Which is, I think, the most important thing in life.
Yeah, and for us it is because we don't get a lot of time. But so for me it's hard because I love these things with him, but I just long for the day to day with him. I really do, right? So, yeah. So for me, like, that was not on my list, but I was gifted it. And that is, like, so incredible. Like, speechless. I'm always speechless in those ways, right?
That's awesome.
So I really didn't put anything on my list. I often have my regulars. Like, I love my bath. So I love Lush bath bubbles and bath bomb kind of things. Actually, I like the bubble bars better than the bombs because you get more use out of them. But yeah, and I just had like simple little things. There was really nothing big because, I mean, prior to Kevin, there was no one I would really ask for anything big from, right?
Yeah.
So I always ask for things from my kids that are useful and thoughtful. Like, I wanted scrunchies because I know that my mom helps my kids sew, and they would make like scrunchies for me, or
Oh, that's nice.
Things like that, right? So yeah, there was nothing really substantial on my list. I'm trying to think. I did come up, like, there are like a couple of things that I'm like, oh yeah, if anybody wanted to get me something, like there was like a Lulu shirt that I'm kind of the person where, like, if I want something, I'll just buy it for myself.
Me
and
too.
Kevin's kind of like that too,
same,
right?
Same.
So I do up Advents for him and his family. My kids, I just buy generic Advents for them because they're kind of at an age where they think those are fun. I find with older people, I personalize them, right?
Yep.
So that's something that's always kind of fun. And I noticed you at the beginning of December had your own Advent. Which Advent was
Godzilla
it?
Advent
calendar.
calendar.
Yeah. And I was like, did you buy that for yourself? And you were like, fuck yeah. And I was like,
course I
that's
did.
awesome, right? Yeah, totally. So yeah, so I don't really have much there. I just I've got like time off during the holidays, mostly
Always important.
for childcare and stuff. I never really used to, but now I sort of have to because daycare is closed and stuff. And yeah, just I honestly want family time. Like, I would love for my family and Kevin's family to get to spend more time together, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of, those were some of my Christmas wishes.
Those are good ones. I like that. Very nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Vegas is like, how do I fucking ask for anything? That's
It's kind of hard at that point.
wild, right? Yeah, because honestly, just a weekend, like just sometimes even just a day uninterrupted, like without my kids, where the two of us could actually talk and be together.
Well, yeah, without,
It's
have
just
adult conversations.
Yeah, totally, right? Yeah.
It's important.
So, yeah. For sure. So
Cool.
yeah, that is that. But I'll tell you, my kids had some pretty banging Christmas lists.
Oh, I bet.
My Hazel was asking for a dirt bike and a lizard and a bunny. And for some reason, Isabel had like Gucci clothes on there. I was like, what are Gucci clothes? She's like, I don't know.
But I want them.
And I was like, do they make clothes? And she's like, I think they just make purses. I'm like, can I make you a shirt that says this is my Gucci shirt? And she was like, no, Mom.
So you want at least something Gucci-esque.
Isn't that hilarious?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah, Griffin had this because he's 13. And so, like, it's different this Christmas for him because he doesn't want, like, toys and shit.
Yeah, he's at this new stage.
It's a new stage. So this is the first year we got him clothes because he actually likes certain kinds of clothes.
Right? Oh, I get my kids clothes all the time. I do something practical, like clothes, and then usually like a book or a craft item, and then a toy. That's usually the theme of what I do. And often the big guy provides every year.
Yeah.
The big guy provides some hockey necessities.
Yes, which are important.
Because those will break a mortgage payment.
Oh, and because they're of the age where every year they need new, or sometimes probably twice within a season they need new.
More than
yeah,
twice.
yeah.
More than twice, right? So a stick is about $300 for my son.
What the
and
fuck?
The gloves are $280.
That makes
and
sense.
the bag is $200.
Oh,
and
my God.
like, it's just constant, right? Like,
Yeah.
so he already, since, October to December, got new pants, shell for the pants, new helmet, all like probably about $900 worth of gear so far, just because he outgrew what he was in, or the helmet expired or whatever, right?
Great Christ.
Oh, and that's just on a normal like Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I need this now.
Wow.
So for quite some time, it's been like, oh, I really want this new stick, Mom, and it's like, oh, well, not now.
Not yet. You
I've
can
been
wait.
telling my kids not till Christmas since like October.
Right. Oh, I know. And that you got to do that though. Like, there's just certain things.
Well, and
right?
I've been doing it to myself too, right? Like, because I mean, we kind of get ourselves whatever we need. I do. Like, there's, I have to get myself whatever I need, right? How many people are sitting there with holes in their underwear, just like making it do until tomorrow morning?
It's just like, I hope I get that underwear.
Stretching that pair for this last
Right?
month, right?
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's so funny. Yeah, socks and underwear are always kind of a thing, right?
See, that's
You just
in
wait
my
till
sock every year.
Christmas.
In my sock every year. Socks and
That's
underwear.
so
And usually
funny.
funky socks that I don't wear a
Oh,
lot,
cool.
but they're fun when I get when
Yeah.
I do put them on. But yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is our Christmas
That is
cheer
Christmas.
this year.
Yeah.
If you have any other fun song ideas or different poems or walking in a winter wonderland kind of ideas, right? Let us know.
Hit us up on the socials.
I feel like it's sort of like the Bad Santa episode.
It was the Bad Santa episode.
And we are recording this before it happens, but it is well worth a thank you to everybody who sponsored and donated money for Christmas Amalgamated / Family in Need.
Yes, our Grinch and
Grinch and Grin.
Grinch and Grin. So we hope...
not Gonch, not Ginch.
Not Gonch, Grinch. It's almost like that line in the song, like stink, stank, stunk. I love that.
Yep.
That was Boris Karloff.
Oh, yeah. The person.
Who did the narrating.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
I'm
movie
burping
actor.
very politely.
You
now,
are
guys,
politely, but just
right?
let one rip. You got to let one rip before we wrap this up.
I won't.
All right. So this was our Christmas episode. We hope y'all enjoyed it. We hope you all have a very safe and happy remainder of the holidays that are left.
Right. But the question is, does Shaniqua follow us into 2025?
Shaniqua always got her ass.
She does, but what if?
What?
What if La Fonda come your tits? You were looking for balance. You were looking for chill balance, next year.
Right? La Fonda. What was that?
La Fonda calm your tits.
La Fonda calm your tits.
That's what I tell people when they need to calm down. I'm like, whoa, calm your tits.
Calm your tits. La Fonda calm your tits. I don't think it's going to be that kind of a year, but if La Fonda wants and that's fine.
If you need to calm your tits,
call La Fonda.
Calm your tits.
Anyways, until the new year, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jolene.
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Bitches.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, filthy animals. That's it.
Yo, filthy animals.
There you go.
Boom. Oh, did it stop? No, it's not stopped yet. Damn it.